Qualifying underway. We are getting ready to go for round 4. It's great to be back, and what a day it is to be back. Beautiful day at Rye-house, round 4 of the championship. Qualifying now well underway. We are testing the live stream at the moment on the Facebook group, so if anyone is tuning in, thanks for watching wherever you're tuning in from. Rye-house circuit is the Rye-house Pro-Kart Championship. And we came on a few minutes into qualifying now. It's a half an hour qualifying session, just under 25 minutes left, and you will already see that there is differences between, of course, some of the numbers, the red backgrounds and the white numbers. That is our super class, so our kind of headline class, if you like. And the green backgrounds and white numbers is the clubman class, so the newer teams in that class. We have had some changes coming into this race where the organisers have actually moved some teams up and some teams back down as well, based on the results and experience of drivers within the teams. So we'll talk more about that as we get into the race, actually. But there we can see a look down the pit lane. It will be very busy down there. Believe me, this afternoon, once we get going, drivers are going to have to do 2 pit stops. So mostly we're going to have 3 drivers per team, but some drivers, of course, will go just with the 2, which will mean one driver will double stint. But that's going to be a very busy place on our live stream, particularly when we get to about an hour into the race, an hour and 20 minutes. And as you can see already, some teams towards the back of the pit lane just waiting to go out. Most teams have actually put a lap, well, I say that actually, 24 teams now have put a lap time in. So most teams have gone out, but just under a third of the teams yet to put a lap in. In terms of who has gone out, ABA Racing currently leading the way. Speaking with a lot of people this morning, the vibe was that it was going to be very, very close. Did speak to the guys at ABA Racing, and they did say it's going to be a tough one to call, but at the moment going very well for them. 41.569. Lambo Racing second, DAD are third, Spectre Racing fourth, Artifacts are fifth, J&D Racing sixth, Universal Racing seventh, HRS1 eighth, Helicopter Services ninth, and Polish Lambo 2 are in 10th place. Top clubman team is DAD, sitting there in third place at the moment from Artifacts and Universal Racing, who are in 7th place. Another good time, that from ABA Racing, 41.536. Was that them coming out the pit lane, or was that an actual another time, I wonder? It's Briar currently out in that kart at the moment. And down the start-finish straight he comes. If you're a regular viewer of Alpha Live, then you would have probably seen that Piers Pryor took a quite spectacular win at Wilton Mill recently in the Senior X30 class. Fantastic drive it was on that day. Alpha Live bringing us the pictures here at round 4. As ever, always good to work with the guys at Alpha Live, covering championships up and down the country. Now we've got some teams gathering towards the front of the pit lane here. It's starting to get a little bit busy, including our reigning champions, Helicopter Services. Helicopter Services yet to really play a big part in this session, so
look forward to seeing them get out and show us what they can do. Helicopter Services, I'll tell you what, if they don't qualify on pole position, it tends to not take them long to get into the lead. Stingray Racing currently making their way now out of the pit lane. Graham Cobb behind the wheel for them. The number 7 of Lambo Racing just adjusting something to the car, and they're actually just going to nip out in front of Helicopter Services here. We've got the number 22 just down the front there as well, getting ready to go out, which is Euro Lambo, who of course have just now jumped up into the super class, and a well done to Euro Lambo on that achievement alone. March Racing just putting in a good time there. I've got to say, it's fantastic to still see March Racing with us and improving as ever since making the step up. March Racing were supposed to have a new livery on their kart this round. Unfortunately, it wasn't delivered in time, and was a real shame. Would have been really great. Had a nice tribute to Mike March on there, so disappointing that we couldn't have that with us in time, but nevertheless, March Racing still race on in his memory. 6th place in qualifying at the moment. HRS1 up into 5th place with a 41.871. We can see back to the pictures now. I think we've got the number 20 we're looking at on screen, which is Polish Lambo 2. Down towards that is hairpin number 1 on screen. Just under 18 minutes to go, so we are quickly approaching the half race distance. There has been some changes. Spectre Racing have gone up to 2nd place, 41.616. Artifacts have gone up to 6th with a 41.930. So just climbing further into the top 10. J&D Racing now into the top 5, just climbing 6 places there, 41.704. Helicopter Services, well, starting to make an impact now, 41.848. They've done a few laps now, and they come across the line. Can they improve this time? Not quite, 41.9 that time. There is the number 6 on screen, Spectre Racing, who are currently 2nd in the session at the moment behind ABA Racing. They only need to find 1.5 tenths, but it can be quite difficult to do that at times around here. It's such a short circuit that finding just that fraction of a second is quite difficult, particularly in a field like we have today. Very, very competitive. So Helicopter Services climbing up even further now. They've just gone up to 5th place, 41.676. Some overtaking going on over at hairpin 2, which I can just see. But Helicopter Services, that's starting to get more like it now. It's very, very close at the front, I have to say. 2.5 tenths between the top 7 at the moment. Can't get much closer than that as we are just now going into the second half of the session. And Helicopter Services climbing even further. Polish Lambo have gone up to 10th place. So Polish Lambo into the top 10. Helicopter Services ahead of DAD, so our top clubman team now in 5th place. Still hugely impressive. Looks like GKD Racing have come out to play now, as have Custom Rods. Some tipping them the favourites for pole position today. So we will keep an eye on Custom Rods.
Looks like GKD Racing
as Lambo Racing go up into 5th place, 41.667. DAD immediately respond though, retaking that 5th place, and Helicopter Services go up to 2nd place, 41.495 then for Helicopter Services, 0.038 off pole position. Impressive stuff there from the reigning champions. What about Custom Rods? Where are they going to be at the moment? I believe just getting themselves up to speed. Just looking out to see if I can see them. Here they come up to the start-finish line now. And Custom Rods go straight up to 8th place. So a good start there for Custom Rods. 41.764. This could be a big lap here for Custom Rods. Just gone up to 7th place immediately. And now they're down the back straight into pylon. Go Custom Rods. The time to beat for them, 41.457. Helicopter Services came very, very close. 0.038 was the gap back to Helicopter Services. Here go Custom Rods down towards the start-finish line. And will they be able to beat it? No, they haven't. Well, they've stayed where they are for now. Lambo Racing go up to 5th place for the time being. Artifacts are up to 9th place. GKD now starting to make some improvements. They go up into 12th place. HRS1 have come back out onto the track after a brief trip to the pit lane. Currently, they'd be starting on the inside of the second row with HRS1. KA Racing have just gone up to 24th place as well, as Custom Rods now go up to 3rd place, 41.517. Top 3 teams now within 1/10 of a second. That's how close it is then. ABA Racing, Helicopter Services and Custom Rods split by 600ths of a second at the moment. Are Custom Rods going to give this another go? They are, because they're coming down this start-finish straight now and trying to go back into pole position. They've gone up to 2nd place, so 41.486 then for Custom Rods puts them into 2nd place, 0.029 away from ABA Racing, 200ths away. So now we have the top 3 teams split by less than 400ths of a second. It's very, very close here. HRS1 4th place, Vector Racing 5th place, Lambo Racing are in 6th, and it's DAD in 7th. JND Racing are 8th, Artifacts are 9th, and Polish Lambo 10th place at the moment. I'll tell you, if you are one of the top 3 teams, do you just call it a day? It's ridiculously close in time, and I have a small feeling that perhaps they'd be satisfied with that. A top 3 start in a 4-hour race is obviously pretty good. So we'll only have to wait and find out as we now go into the final 10 minutes of the qualifying session. Across the start-finish line, it looks as if it's had artifacts moving up, or had that already happened. I believe it already had happened, but I'll say it again, they are up into 9th place, 41.866. Burton Power Racing have only done 7 laps. They have done one of the fewest laps of the whole field, as they are starting to move up the field slowly. Burton Power Racing now currently in 11th place as they complete their 8th lap. So 41.916. They're knocking on the door of the top 10 here. Currently 3rd of the clubman teams. DAD are the top clubman team, up in 7th place. We have less than 2 tenths between the top 7 at the moment, and less than 400ths between our top 3. Monkey Motorsport have also just gained a couple of positions. They've gone up 2 places to go into 24th. And up 3, looks as if more teams just dropping down there. I think Artifacts once again making some inroads. 9th place, as we said, for them. So if you are following the live stream at the moment, just to give you an idea of what's happening, we're into qualifying, but this is our test live stream. We will be going live for real across a few platforms, so listen up. We're going to be live on Karting Magazine Facebook page, Alpha Live Facebook page, and the Alpha Live YouTube channel, which recently hit 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations to those guys for that. So we'll be live on all 3 of those platforms. Make sure you share, like, comment, all that jazz. Let's get the word of Rye-house Pro-Kart Championship spread around. Hopefully we can get some pretty decent viewing figures today. Well, the track's gone quiet in terms of course, there's a lot of karts out there, but in terms of anyone making improvements, it's gone quiet for the time being. But I have just seen Custom Rods go across the line, and they are, of course, chasing pole position. They don't need to find a lot of time at all. Let's follow them round then. Up towards hairpin number 2 goes the number 2 car into second hairpin. The reigning vice champions trying to chase the team who were 4th in last year's championship. Numbers do help denote within the top 10 where the teams finished last year. Right, here come Custom Rods down to the start-finish line. Will they be able to improve? Yes, they do. They take pole position then. Custom Rods 41.410. That is pole position for them ahead of ABA Racing. 0.04 of a second. So that makes it just under a tenth between the top 3. The Custom Rods got a clear lap, and they've taken pole position away from ABA Racing. And as I say that, Piers Pryor gets ready to go out to make a response immediately. So quite interesting to see that ABA Racing were just simply waiting to see if their time was going to get beaten. It now has been beaten, and can Custom Rods extend that advantage over ABA Racing? No, they can't, but now it's been beaten. Here come ABA Racing to go back out onto the track to put in their response. So it's starting to heat up here at Rye-house, and I don't just mean that around the track, of course. Very hot day, but on track it is also starting to heat up as well. We've got Custom Rods versus ABA Racing, as well as Helicopter Services. 3-way battle for pole position at the moment. There are helicopter services, I believe. They're out on track as well. Is that them over at Pylon? I wonder, because they now need to try and put their response in. Let's see, they're coming down the start-finish straight, are they? Yes, they are. So, helicopter services also out on track as well. Well, there was no way they were going to respond on that lap that they just completed. A lot of traffic they had to go through. But helicopter services, let's see. Do they have some clear track in front of them now? Just a little bit. At the moment, they could do with a little bit of help, a few teams going into the pits. Custom Rods have come into the pits, and I believe that will be the last time that they do that during this qualifying session with just under 5 minutes to go. They've set the benchmark time. Can anyone beat it? Here come helicopter services across the line. And as they improve in terms of the time they did last time around, but no improvement to their overall time. There they are on screen if you're watching on live stream. Ben Cook out in the helicopter services cart. Reigning champions for a reason, believe me. But from what I've seen when I've commentated in the past here, don't always qualify on pole position, but they are very fast starters in a race. So even if they don't take pole position, doesn't mean they won't be leading come the end of the first lap. Now ABA Racing are back out onto track. Piers Pryor is out there. He's just coming up towards hairpin number 2 now for anyone watching over the other side of the circuit. ABA Racing in the number 4, going underneath the gantry now. They've got some traffic ahead, unfortunately, but they've perhaps got time to just put 1 or 2 laps in before they approach that traffic. Here they go up to the line. I believe this will be their second full lap, so you're not going to see an improvement on that lap. It was close to being an improvement. But Piers Pryor this time is going to be catching the number 9, which is GKD Racing, who are currently in 9th place. So someone to chase down, which could work in his favour. Right, let's see if this is the lap where ABA Racing do it. Just trying to keep an eye on where helicopter services are at the same time. But we'll focus on ABA Racing for now. Out the last corner and down the start-finish straight. Will we see them go back ahead of Custom Rods? Not this time round. 41.526. So they were very close to doing so, but not quite, as there's an off at the first hairpin. Someone briefly off the circuit and gets going again. Less than 2 minutes to go, and on the live stream, there you can see in the white suit and pink helmet, Piers Pryor in the ABA Racing cart going through shot. He's gone past GKD Racing, which perhaps could mean he's going to go a little bit slower on this lap. Let's see as he goes up to the line. No, he's done a personal best. Well, 41.435 remains in second, but Piers Pryor just 200ths away from pole position now, 25 thousandths of a second. J&D Racing have just gone up to 5th place now. 4th place, sorry, they've gone up 5 places. That's what confused me. 41.542 for J&D Racing. Artifacts have gone up 5 places to be in 11th, but ABA Racing agonisingly close to pole position there, 0.025 of a second. It was a personal best, but not quite good enough. Let's see what happens this time. Not quite good enough for ABA Racing. Just off, so they've got 2 more laps to try and do this now. But they're approaching some traffic, so I think they might get 1 more lap in here before it's perhaps going to be too much traffic to contend with. There is Piers Pryor on your screens in the number 4. Took just a little bit of curb through hairpin number 2, and it just seemed to unsettle the car ever so slightly as he goes through pylon. Now down towards the final corner. Will Piers Pryor be able to find that bit of time required down towards the start-finish line? No, unfortunately not, but he's got one more lap to try and do this. Behind, the top 10 currently is Custom Rods, ABA Racing, Helicopter Services, J&D Racing, HRS1, Spectre Racing, Lambo Racing, GKD Racing, DAD, and Polish Lambo. The top 10 within 0.4 of a second. It's extremely close at the moment. Less than 0.2 between the top 6. But where are ABA Racing? Doesn't look like they've actually caught too much traffic on this last lap. Let's see if they're able to make an improvement as they come out of the last corner and down the start-finish straight. Pierce Pryor doesn't look confident he's going to do it, and he slowed up coming across the line. So looks as if pole position is going to go the way of Custom Rods here. We'll make it official and see everyone across the line first, though. J&D Racing came close. They were just over a tenth from pole position in 4th place there, but that looks like that's going to be that. So Custom Rods take pole position then. Many predicted it around the paddock, and they have lived up to the pace that they showed in practice this morning. Custom Rods take pole position, 41.410. ABA Racing, as soon as that time was set, went out to try and put a response in, and Piers Pryor did a 41.435, so 0.025 of a second back. Was extremely close in the end. Helicopter Services likewise were within 1/10 of a second with a 41.495. Top 3, that's going to be a good battle to watch. But then only a fraction of a second behind Helicopter Services were J&D Racing, HRS1 were 5th, Spectre Racing 6th, and then Lambo Racing 7th place. Lambo Racing just over 2/10 away from pole position. GKD Racing were 8th place, just over 2/10 back likewise, and then we had the first of our clubman teams with DAD, followed by the second clubman teams in Polish Lambo and Artifact. So the top 3 clubmen also very close together. They were in fact split by less than a tenth of a second as well. So not only have we got that top 3 overall, but we've also got that top 3 in clubman as well. Then it's Team Jam and Euro Lambo. Burton Power Racing, Universal Racing rounded out the top 15. Then it was CSM Lambo, JRH Racing. Never get a good qualifying when I'm here. I'm not too sure. I'm just a curse for JRH Racing for some reason. Polish Lambo 2, 18th. March Racing, 19th. KA Racing, 20th. Then it was Silverline Racing, HP Racing, Zingray Racing, Team Erie also, Monkey Motorsport, Pelham Racing, Alpha Racing. I'm sure the guys streaming this will like that name. BMH, Too Many Pies, and Wix Racing. Well, if you're on the live stream, thanks for tuning in to our qualifying session. We are going into a break now, but we'll be back in about 50 minutes' time. About 3 o'clock, we'll be back for our live grid walk, and from the grid walk, we'll go straight into the race. So a little bit of a break for everyone on the live stream, and of course around the circuit as well. Oh, can you actually see me? I think you can on that camera angle. Hello, just about. Thanks for tuning in so far, but of course we're hoping to be getting a huge audience for our race, as we'll be streaming across Karting Magazine Facebook, as well as the Alpha Live Facebook and Alpha Live YouTube channel. So a note there for everyone online and around the paddock as well. That is how you can watch both on Facebook and on YouTube. A well done to Custom Rods, ABA Racing, Helicopter Services, top 3, and the top 3 in Clubman, DAD, Polish Lambo, and Artifacts. Now, just a quick announcement actually for people around the paddock.